Welcome to the Gospel According to Star Trek Podcast's 2021 Advent Series. I'm Kevin C. Neese, and I'll be with you every Sunday this Advent as we seek out new life in the advent of Christ.
Data, over here I found something. One life sign, very faint.
Spot! I am very happy to see you, Spot.
Another family reunited. Data? Are you all right?
I am uncertain, Counselor. I am happy to see Spot. Yet I am crying. Perhaps the chip is malfunctioning.
I think it's working perfectly.
Joy can be difficult to define, especially to someone with a brand new emotion chip. Even though the scriptures tell us that weeping is just for the night, but joy comes in the morning, and that's a beautiful and true image of our grief giving way to our joy. It's also often true, as it is in this moment with Data finding Spot, that joy can bring us to tears. That there are good tears, happy tears. Joy can also be something small and unexpected, a faint life sign. We might have to dig for it through some rubble, through some debris, through something that might be left behind even from destruction or tragedy. As Data rummages through the parts and pieces of the crashed Enterprise D. Sometimes, especially at Christmas, it can feel like we are, in the words of the U2 song, looking for the baby Jesus under the trash. The weeping that the scriptures tell us is just for the night sometimes seems like it will never end. But it can, and it does. Maybe not all at once. Sometimes it's just a little bit at a time. A small moment here or there that can be filled with so much meaning, so much connection, so much emotion that it can be complicated, it can be surprising. C.S. Lewis even wrote a book about it, Surprised by Joy. Joy can come as quite a surprise when all we can see at the moment are the wreckage of tragedies, the heartbreak of loss. When the pain of life seems to have buried everything we want to hold close to our hearts. But those things aren't gone. Joy isn't absent. It hasn't left the building. It's there, somewhere underneath, and we may find it in a way we didn't expect, but when we do, we can pick it up. We can hold it close to us, just to let it purr, warmly, softly. Joy doesn't always look like happy exuberance. It can. It can look like Spock splashing and laughing in the ocean at the end of Star Trek IV. It can look like fun and playfulness. It can look like laughing. And it can also look like holding and caring and being close. It can be gentle and comforting. True joy, it is said, is an undercurrent, a deep river that flows beneath everything else that's going on. Even if the top might seem frozen, underneath, it's still flowing, still teeming with life. That it's not just happiness, which is based on our happenstance, our happenings, occurrings and occasions when things are going well for us, but it's something deeper, a wellspring, if you will. And we can tap into it. And we must often, in the words of the old song by the Echoing Green, defend our joy. Defend your joy, the song says. I've held on to that idea for a long time. Because it's worth defending, it's worth fighting for. Sometimes we find it against the tide of events that surround us. Sometimes we find it against and in spite of our own determination to stay miserable. In this week's episode of Star Trek Discovery, Dr. Culber describes going to his uncle's funeral determined that nothing was going to make him feel better, and yet finding a way to begin to move past his grief nonetheless. Sometimes we get very comfortable in our unhappy feelings. We can be like Scrooges in our own right, mired in our own misery, choosing to let the darkness overcome us, shut us down, wither us, turn us cold. But Scrooge's story doesn't end there, does it? Scrooge's story opens up the window to the light of day. His joy does come in the morning. And even if your morning comes in the middle of the night, it can and will come. And it's an act of faith to hold on for that joy, even when you yourself are the thing most standing in the way. These times at Christmas, when we're around one another in special circumstances with unusual but beautiful events happening, they can be stressful, but they can also be the perfect places to surprise ourselves with joy. For the holy, for the sacred to break in between the cracks, where we can find baby Jesus under the trash, where we can find the joy that we're missing. Jesus comes to us as a symbol and as a carrier of joy. Sherwood Wirt even wrote a book years ago called Jesus, Man of Joy. And it inspired Bruce Marchiano in his portrayal of Jesus in the film of the Book of Matthew and many other films in which he has starred as Christ. Because Jesus does bring us joy. He brings us the joy that we can have peace because of the hope that he offers. That despite the darkness, the light will shine. Despite the weeping, the mourning will bring joy. Joy isn't just joviality. It's not just being festive. Those things can involve and incorporate joy. They can emerge from joy. But joy, I think, is the deep knowing that it's not hopeless. It's the deep knowing that life is good and true and beautiful and worth protecting, worth defending. Joy is the candle in the window. Joy is the fire in the hearth. Joy is the tree in the living room, lit up and decorated to bring the evergreen into our homes when it can be hard to remember that life continues to flourish even in the darkest nights of the year. Joy is at the heart of Christmas. And therefore, joy is at the heart of the Christian life. It's not just about being happy all the time, having a goofy smile on your face, and spouting a lot of religious language. Joy is the understanding that suffering is temporary, even though it persists throughout the whole of our lives. The gospel tells us that our lives are not defined merely by the conditions in which we exist, that suffering does come to an end, that it doesn't have to define us. Jesus tells us that we will, in fact, have troubles in this life and in this world, but to have joy, to be of good cheer in the knowledge that He has overcome this world. He has overcome this world within Himself, before us, and will overcome it and continue to overcome it through us. We, therefore, are also now carriers of joy. Just as Mary carried joy within her own body, so we now too also carry the expectant hope, the expectant joy, that all things will be made new. Joy is not just fleeting happiness. Joy is not lost forever. Joy is not an illusion. Joy is an undercurrent. Joy is a surprise. Joy is something warm to hold close. Joy is Advent. And now may the love of God the Father, through the grace of Jesus Christ, and the peace of the Holy Spirit, be with you, now and always, that you may truly live long and prosper.